Of all the words that can spark love in the heart, few come close to the impact of the birth of a child. In one miraculous moment, life is no longer what it was just seconds before. Tonight, friends and family come together to celebrate the 15th birthday, the quinceañera, of Rachelle Galindo. Born February 9th, 1998, Rachelle immediately made it clear that she was a girl who would make her presence known.
Born at what time in the morning?
Well, it was like around 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
She was only there at the nursery for a little while. She cried the whole time. They couldn't get her to be quiet, so they brought her to me, to my room around 8 o'clock in the morning. And
Compared to Jeremiah's baby, he was really quiet. And, the nurses gave Yvette time to rest. But Rachelle, she would cry a lot, and she would wake up the other babies in the nursery. So they would just bring her straight to us. And basically, she was in our room most of the time.
Yeah.
Because she would wake up the other babies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when watosa.
So we should have known then that she's the type of girl that's going to get what she wants.
And when she was born, I would always want to carry her or take her wherever I want. Parents were like, no, you're going to drop her or something. I was like, okay. But I was very proud of having her in my life.
Sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what Rachelle is made of. She's a beautiful little girl, and she's growing up to be a beautiful young lady. And we wish her nothing but the best. And on that day, even though she wants to be Alice in Wonderland, she's really the Queen of Hearts because she has all of our hearts dear to her.
She was the cutest baby I ever saw. I remember when we were little and they lived in the other house, that I would always give her like horse rides or something. We would go around the house and she would just be on top of my back, just riding.
I remember that.
Horse riding?
No, horse riding.
Oh, horse riding?
Yeah.
Kitty up.
I remember that.
Rachelle's take-charge attitude also came to everyone's attention at a very young age. Her brother, Jeremiah, quickly learned that there was a new personality in the house, and what she wanted, she usually got. Rachelle had set her eyes on her brother's favorite pillow.
We were at a daycare center in San Juan, and it was nap time, so I always hated taking naps though, but we would sleep, and then all of a sudden, like, out of nowhere, she starts yanking the pillow away from me. And I tell her, hey, that's my pillow, that's mine. No, she would not let it go. She said it was hers, and when she says it's hers, it's hers.
At one point, we had a cheerleading competition in San Marcos in Texas State University, and we finished competing, and we were driving back home. We were already south of San Antonio, and she realized that she forgot her pillow, and you could just hear her crying and crying. Going back home, it's like, Mija, I can't go back. I mean, it's for a pillow. I can't. We're already halfway home. So the next day, I called the hotel, and I talked to the manager, spoke to them, and see if they can find the pillow. And lucky enough, they did. They did find it. And I remember the phone call when the manager called me, and she says, well, I have here in my hand a raggedy, old, dirty, small pillow. Says, yeah, that's the one. So, they were great about it, and they shipped it FedEx overnight, and I surprised it to her, and I showed it to her, and she was so elated. She was very happy about it.
As a young girl, Rachelle showed an interest in many different activities, but one of her earliest loves was dancing the ballet.
She used to be in ballet and when she was young, and so, you try to continue the tradition. So right off the bat, as soon as she was able to, she registered to, the Deborah Case Academy. Mm-hmm. So she was, being a ballerina, and she loved it a lot.
She loves dancing, so I call her my dancing ballerina. My daughter is my princess, and she's my dancing ballerina.
Her interest in dancing would prove to be only the beginning of a childhood filled with many different activities. Rachelle's extended family recalls that her interests would range from softball to baking to cheerleading.
We've had the pleasure of
watching her compete. and traveling, with her family, with my brother's family, to San Marcos and San Antonio and Corpus, and we were like the second proud parents there. We were just so proud of her when we'd see her upstage dancing her little heart out.
Her priority was cheerleading, and she really loved cheerleading. I would go with her to San Marcos, San Antonio, to go support her. And she was really good. She wasn't embarrassed to perform in front of crowds, and that takes guts. Something that I could have never done. And so she does very well. And she plays softball, basketball right now, and she's very athletic. I think sometimes she has more muscle than I do. She told me, Jeremiah, let me see you flex, and I will flex, and then she's like, look at me, and then boom, I'm like, whoa, what have you been taking?
Very competitive.
Very competitive, so it kind of feeds, it feeds into her competitive level, and she just likes to compete and excel in everything that she does. She just picked it up, and she was a natural at it, and she got it from watching her brother play baseball. Ever since she was a little girl, she was attending baseball games, and just by watching him, she picked it up, and she's just as good as he is. She has an eye for the ball, and she manages to get on base.
She's recently taken up a lot of interest in baking, and she just made Jeremiah the best birthday cake I have tasted ever. And I'm glad, because I love to bake, and I'm really looking forward to starting to bake with her also, since Emma's too small to bake with me. Rachelle's gonna have to take her place until Emma can start helping me out in the kitchen.
But despite her varied interests in school and outside the home, her family says Rachelle is really at her best when she is among her loved ones.
Remember when she was small, and every time we get together, she was always helpful. She's always helpful. She's still always helpful. She's always helping out on activities that we have as a family. She's always caring for the younger kids that are there, and she's real helpful in that.
Yeah, as soon as we come over to her house, first thing they do is they get together and then boom into the room, and they just lose themselves in there, and all you hear is just playing and playing and playing, and she's really good with our kids. She really is. She keeps them entertained while we get entertained.
She's got a beautiful soul. She is, without a doubt, the most respectful person her age that I know. And she's always been like that since she was a little girl. Since I first met her, I met her when she was 3 years old, and I've never had any bad experience with her. And she's always just been a beautiful person.
Family members say one of Rachelle's greatest characteristics is her bond with her extended family and her love for her maternal grandparents, Ignacio and Norma Herrera, and her paternal grandparents, Ike and Aurora Galindo. Her closeness to family became especially important when her grandmother Norma passed away. Family members say Rachelle showed maturity way beyond her years during their time of mutual grief.
Yeah, we helped each other. She didn't get to experience a lot, but she felt sad. But we all knew that she was going to a better place, and she said that her time was ready to go. So me and her, we were okay with it.
She was a strong support for me. I think she's just a very strong, emotional girl that, seeing her go through that, I have no worries about her and how she's going to deal with life.
How old was she when that happened?
She was 14 years old, yeah. And that's the way she's always been. And I cannot just say, that she's my backbone, she's just so strong for me.
She was brokenhearted, just like everyone else here. We were very brokenhearted, and it was inevitable. We knew what was going to happen, and you can tell she was getting prepared for it as well. And for a 14-year-old teenager to do that, it to me, it just blew my mind away that if she can do it, we can do it ourselves.
The quinceañera has its roots buried deeply in the traditions of Maya and Aztec cultures, but it also owes some of its ceremony to traditions brought to the New World by Spanish explorers. So the modern quinceañera is really a blend of three distinct cultural legacies. Rachelle's family agrees that the young girl passing into womanhood today is diverse in her own right, and they offer their best wishes for a bright and happy future.
Oh, there you are.